Hello, welcome back to our latest episode of Diablo 4. Now, we have 3 days to go until Season 1. This episode will probably go live on YouTube after Season 1 start. But we have 3 days left, and the most important stuff to do is get the campaign finished. So Act 3, 4, no, not 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's it. Possibly the capstone dungeon. Don't know about that. Without further ado, just jump into it. So we got 1, 2, 3 nights of Diablo 4. Act 4, 5, 6. That's the plan. So that we can go straight into Season 1 on the seasonal realm, but on our, what they call the internal realm with this character. We'll still have some bits to do, like get full renown, doing capstone dungeons, nightmare dungeons, and all that sort of stuff. Full disclosure, I did do a side quest off stream and off recording, which is Majubs. He's a character we met during Act 3 to escort us through that storm, but he turned us down, and randomly he was a side quest, and I thought I'll pick it up just so I've got the marker. And then it was collect something for him to heal a wound he had. And then the second part of that quest was to escort him back to here, which I've done. And then the third part is down there. I'll tell you, I've already failed it once. And we'll see that later on, basically. I'll come back when I'm stronger. Sort of gives you an idea of what's involved. But for now, I've picked up all the quests that I can. I think it's just a matter of, getting on with that main storyline. So, let's go. Fast travel here. Now, I am compressing a bunch of files on my PC as well. I've got some new hard drives for the recordings, and I'm compressing a Let's Play that I finished. So hopefully this game's not too affected by it. Just looks like it's using a bunch of disk performance, but
you can't be serious, Tomiris.
We're not recording to that disk.
Is lost in ruins. Going back is... This isn't like before. This isn't for the fort, for Akarat. Surely you understand that.
No, I'm not even going to pick up the breadcrumbs. We'll find them all later on. It's just going to take time, so let's get straight on it. They will literally have to be considered endgame, all the side quests. So I get jumping into Diablo 4 a few weeks late. It's end of June I started, and only come out at the beginning of June. Not a lot of time really to have everything completed before Season 1. But I guess they also count on the fact you can't go on to the seasonal content till you've at least done the campaign on one character. Then you might miss out on some of the seasonal content. Hard to gauge, you know. I love the little mud prints. I've just remembered I have a horse. That might feel like a rush, because we are partially rushing, but I'm not going to say it's rushing. I'm going to say instead that we're just staying focused on our goal. Mate.
Do you feel that? Mephisto's touch is heavy here. All that hatred. It's just what we need to attune the Soul Stone, to make it ready for Lilith. I'm too old to climb, but you can get in and open the portcullis. The fitful resting place of a Zakarum leader pursued by Mephisto. A group of holy paladins built the keep and entombed the body within. Looks abandoned now, though. Did she? She could be right. Even the air feels laden with an otherworldly sort of magic.
I'm low on fuel.
Several dungeons here.
Hurry. Everything here makes my skin crawl. strange. Are there wolves in Hawazar?
Just now.
It feels worse here somehow. This must be the place. Since I was a young man, I've lost the grip for it.
Wonder why he was just randomly attacking a door.
Whatever else is here, hatred persists. Strong enough to attune the Soul Stone. Creation dan tenis beri dis tom hiklimon. Damn it! What's wrong with it? Fool. What's wrong with it? Why won't... Oh no. This is worse than I thought. It must have been damaged when you're in... Astaroth.
Do you know how to repair it?
We'll need rare materials. Quicksilver to start. And tools. Alchemical tools. There's a village near here. We'll see if they have what we need. Meet me there when you can.
It's me.
say it once more. Whatever it is you're looking for, we don't have.
The town doesn't seem to have anything that we need.
We're a village in the middle of a swamp.
There must be something. I can feel the magic in this swamp, and where there is magic, there are users of magic.
If a witch is what you want, go to the tower then. Fire's lit, she's home.
Sounds as though we go to meet the witch of the swamp. Be on guard.
Saw smoke coming out of the tower this morning.
Before we do that, get the waypoint.
Gone for so long. You don't think... Is she back?
Now you mind yourself, Senna. Witches are about to get...
Thaisa? You're the witch in the tower?
Horadrim, I thought you journeyed to the keep.
Yes. Well...
And why would I help you?
Well, we all want Elias dead.
We do. But fixing the Soul Stone, that is about Lilith, and she does not concern me.
I don't need much. Just Quicksilver and the tools you have there.
Such small asks rarely remain so. Surely you must know this. But you did help me survive Andaril's summoning. So, my tools are yours. You will have to go to Valtha for Quicksilver, though. Find her, and she will give you what you need.
The Haradrim have studied the Soul Stone for generations. I have studied it for more than 20 years. But there aren't enough books in Sanctuary to contain what we don't know about it. It will take a miracle. But that's what you expect from me, isn't it?
Yes.
Well...
Yes, Haradrim. What do you think of me?
I've been... My life has kept me in Skull's Glen for many years now. I haven't met anyone like her, you, since before my son was born. Strange as it may sound, you remind me of what it was like to be young, to adventure,
To encounter danger?
to believe I can defeat it. Yes. Yes, I am too. If I had ridden to Lorith and stayed in Eldheim. If I raised Yorin to be a scholar rather than a soldier. It doesn't matter.
If and buts and this is and that's.
Sister in trade and service. But don't think that we are your witches from folktales. Valtha is no potion dealer. Tread lightly with her. Because I have chosen to. You will make Elias mortal. I will be there to collect his debt.
Oh, I just... Yeah. It's so counterintuitive for me to just be like... Leave all the side quests alone. Gotta do what you gotta do, though.
habit of snooping around other people's
I do.
homes? Thaisa has unknowingly sent you to your death. In the end, she will see the foolishness of her pursuit of Elias, and she will know that Lilith is our future.
Yeah, because all those quest markers disappear. The ones to pick up a quest, start a quest, that's why I was picking them up. But it's just going to take too long to keep picking them up and begin dialogues.
Ah, you're back. Place the purified quicksilver in that bowl on the table.
Even more restless than before. He's lost a son, and inside his grief chips at him every moment he refuses to face it. How was my sister?
Valtha chose Lilith over your friendship. Elias convinced her to join him.
That can't be. She would have known not to trust Elias.
It wasn't Elias that seduced her, but Lilith. She found her ideals convincing.
Valtha was my teacher. She guided me when I first began my service. This is...
Difficult to believe, I know. I've seen my allies throw their lot in with Lilith. People I thought were stronger than that. But that is why we must press on and mend the stone so no one else will fall to her lies. First off, the quicksilver. Mix some of it into the pot. Blaze the flame. Turn the wheel twice. Or is it 3 times? Give it another turn. What am I forgetting? The sulfur. Grind it in the mortar.
Sure it's gonna work if you're that unsure?
No, it's not working.
Speak to me outside.
I told you. I told you. I'm not the man you want or need.
He is not up to the task.
What can we do?
I suspect he no longer trusts himself. We cannot erase all his doubt, but his most recent grief, his son, there is a way. He won't enjoy it, though.
Why help him? You could simply leave us to our fates.
Everyone needs a reminder every now and then that you can defeat danger. You only have to try. Haradrim, come here.
What? Why?
I want to take you somewhere. A place of old power in this swamp. I think it will do you some good.
Oh my. What? How does that happen? Stay away from the event.
Why do we go to this place? There is nothing left for me to do. Can't you see that? Let me return.
Return? Return where? No, Haradrim. You will remain with us. There is still more to do.
Do you feel that? The swamp's magic is more potent here.
Valtha brought me to this place when I was younger. Here, you can face your demons, whether they be fear or grief.
Who is... No. No, I've had enough of this.
And what will you do instead? Nothing in this swamp is free, Haradrim. Not even your magic. Whatever logic you think will win the day, you are mistaken. Where is your sense of adventure? Huh? Not buried in your youth, is it? Go outside and make an offering to the swamp. A ring, a necklace, something you hold dear. While you do, our friend here will collect 2 things. Maggot Ichor and Yellow Lotus.
On it.
This is foolish.
Valtha forged me into the witch I am. I struggle with her death. I understand why she saw a future in Lilith. The mother of Sanctuary isn't so different from the witches of Hawazar. But I won't ever shirk my duty in bringing Elias to justice. That is the part of Valtha I will never understand. Not today, but a time will come when I must shed the unrest that plagues me.
You do it from in here?
I'm low on fury.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. It's got a little icon down in the bottom left.
I need more fury. I must wait. I don't have enough fury. I'm low on fury. I'm low on fury.
Oops.
I'm low on fuel. Need more fury. I'm low on fuel.
No, adds at the top.
I'm low on fuel.
Good. Make haste. The Haradrim tires of waiting. Set the swamp's gift in the pot to brew a tea.
I simply think this is a waste of your time and mine.
Do you see the braziers? Light each of them. Then we will drink the tea and wait.
Wait for what?
For the swamp to call out to your soul and draw what festers from you, like poison from a wound.
Oh no! They're coming!
Father. I will. Don't worry. Father.
Yoren. My son. How is it possible? My son. Please come back to me. Come back. I shouldn't have let you go. I should have said no. I should have kept you with me at any time.
Why did you let me go?
I don't know. The look on your face. You were ready. You needed to go.
I did. And I do again.
Stop! Just...
Father. I'm ready.
And the poor dude, you know.
What? The portal. Mephisto.
I've just realised I'm on Act 5, not Act 4.
Now of all times.
Didn't I warn you? The Horadrim would only hold you back. Look at them. So consumed by their emotions that they forget what really matters. Lilith is the true threat, not Elias.
I know why you're so afraid of her.
My fate is tied to yours. If she devours me, Sanctuary is lost. But you'll still have a chance to stop her.
Do I?
What if I opened a portal for you out of this swamp? Let the Horadrim deal with Elias. He is their sin to bear. You and I can work together to stop Lilith.
I know who my real allies are. My friends. Take me back to them.
The day of reckoning will come, and your true friends will be revealed. Now, take the portal back to your allies. I wouldn't put your hope in Inarius, if that's who you mean. The angel was my prisoner. I have seen his true face. He and Lilith are not as different as you might think. The angel was already filled with hate when he became my prisoner. All I did was refine his anger. When he escaped back to your world, he brought it with him. If Lilith prevails, you'll only have yourself to blame.
You won't prevail, though.
I don't know yet. He wandered around for hours until the tea wore off. A long journey through the swamp is more rewarding than a short one. Yours was even longer, it seems. Did you face your inner demons, as the Haradrim did?
Yes. Hopefully for the last time.
Let us begin. Mix the quicksilver in the pot. And the fire. Turn the wheel twice. No more, no less. Now grind the sulfur. Carefully.
That's what it was, just the wheel.
Mallet! Sulfur! Careful. Now stand back.
You can do it, man. You can do it.
Is it done?
Was it so easy then?
You have no idea the toll of such a thing. No idea what one must face, overcome to perform this act of magic.
Perhaps not. But still...
Enough! It is done. Let us not tarry.
Yes. We have our task at Zakarum Keep. Let's finish this.
I did name the last episode wrong. Tidying up my recording. Act 4 was a really short act, so I thought it was just the start of Act 4, but it really is a short act. So let's get the next upload going. is Act 4. So I'll upload that one. So we'll have the last episode uploading now. Schedule that basically for next week. So this is not Act 4, this is Act 5. I'll update the stream description. There we go. Right, so basically we sorted out him. Now we're on to Tainted Flesh. Is there a way we can fast travel? Yeah, just fast travel to there.
What a lonesome place to come seeking knowledge.
He must have thought he had no choice.
Neither do we. Another set of eyes, at last. We've been searching for Timaway with little success.
Before she went to his palace?
I don't know, Nera.
What do you know?
Many things I wish I did.
I'm figuring it's going to be there because of the way that part of the map sort of, you know.
I never doubted his mastery of the stone. It's his state of mind I'm worried about. He'll need my help for his next go at the ritual.
Only two kinds of people come looking for old teamwork. Those running away from trouble, and those running toward it. Which kind are you, I wonder?
Don't know.
Never heard of him.
We think Elias made a pact with the swamp to become immortal. Thaisa said you could help it.
Thaisa. Only she would be cold-hearted enough to send a child to die out here.
We've no intention of dying.
One of you will. That's the way it always ends. Go back where you came from. I won't have a child's blood on my hands.
I saw my mother possessed by Lilith. Driven so mad, it killed her. I'm not a child anymore.
So be it. If this Elias made a pact, it was with the Tree of Whispers. There are many paths to reach it, but the nearest is in Ingovani.
Oh, this is important. There's some endgame stuff, I believe.
There. Retrieve it, and your path to the tree begins.
Go to Engavani. Nerel and I will see if we can get some more information out of Timaway.
Yes. I was infected with the swamp's poison, and I made a pact with the tree out of fear. So now I give it knowledge, and in exchange it keeps me one step away from the grave. I wish it would just let me go. But a pact made cannot be broken. She was like you once, standing here in my heart, asking to be set on the path. And you will be like her, taking the answers you need and never looking back. The swamp nests in the roots of the Tree of Whispers. This is how each path begins. The temple at Ingovani rests on one route, but it is no less or more important than any other route.
That's made me feel a little less stressed, you know, that I actually completed Act 4 and that this wasn't just a continuation. Find the town.
The door bears an image of a snake. Her eyes are missing. Perhaps returning them here is the key to opening the way.
Find the left eye, find the right.
Out of fury.
The horse makes a huge difference there. There might be something. Down low. What I mean is I might just zip past it on the horse. Might need to go a little slower. Keep my eyes open.
I'm not ready yet.
Oh, hello. Why am I stuck? There we go.
I must work.
It's definitely going to be one of those things where I've walked past it like twice, not seen it glowing on the floor.
I'm not ready yet.
Those fools. They wouldn't listen when we demanded the chance to open the temple. Death found them. It's the way of things. But I hear them still, their warnings. 4 of us are dead now. And I am soon to follow.
Alright, just finishing up my Diablo 4 playlist. Let's run down here. Just hit level 50. I have no idea how to use this though. I was expecting us to be able to choose for us to have one more skill point here. Yeah. Think as it was explaining to me, yeah, one skill point, another skill point. They're missing out on 3 skill points. And then we got our Paragon points, which, yeah, I don't know. I haven't even thought anything about that yet.
Need more fury.
Every few years, we play host to migrants determined to join our settlement. And every few years, I must preach the laws of the swamp. All things in the swamp must be earned. Nothing is free. Nothing is given or gifted. And to our God we pay the ultimate tithe.
What secondary stats does it have? Probably the one I've got. It's probably slightly better. Not junk yet.
by the will of our god, that our village has long remained safe. We do not see her, though her children multiply in the sun, circling us, feeding off us when it suits them.
Well, I can hear whatever that is.
This must be it.
Press space, but not quite quick enough. Oh, nice. Thanks for the quick exit. Barbarian. Oh, it's just an encyclopedia of all talent. Barbarian builds.
The ritual to summon Lilith would have been demanding. Perhaps he was afraid he wouldn't survive it. And I'm sure he expected to make enemies along the way. Good, you found the incense. I'll keep it safe for us.
While you were gone, Timur warmed up to us. Well, to Lorath. He's surprisingly nimble with old women.
Nerel?
She says there's an altar. That's what the incense is for. It's not far from here.
I feel like that's massively important because we're not exactly doing a rend. I think it's called like a rend build or something. was paused for a moment there because I was just looking at the end game build for that continues on from the leveling build I've been doing, which is the Berserking Hammer Abatements. Oh. Aspect of berserking. Kind of need that one, don't we? Hmm. Okay, so we came here basically to sort out armor stuff. Stop clicking on the waypoint. Yes. So what? While I'm here, you can try that for me.
The forge is always hot.
You'll be good to sell everything to.
I'll shake on that.
Then we'll go to our jeweler.
You hear her last night? Running through the streets, screaming bloody murder.
Didn't everyone? The woman's mind is going.
She and all the other crusaders.
Can we construct anything? We can. Oh, and then we can put these in our armor.
Good business. Good business.
Cool. Then let's... Mm-hmm.
First Carlo, now Leah. There's something out there killing us and no one will do anything.
No, that's actually a bit pointless to do that. We can work through this bit by bit. Right, so now we're transitioning over to our end game build. What we want to look at is so we got that. Switch to combat frenzy for more. So we want to refund that, get that one. And then we want to go to here. We want that one. Yeah. And then defensive skill, we want rallying cry. Got that. That's that. And then down here, we want leap, enhanced leap, and power leap, and then swiftness 3, which improves our mobility. Here we got quite a lot going down. So weapon mastery, isn't this? So here we want, not necessarily all 4 death blows. So 1, 2, 3. We want that at level 4. Just more damage for a death blow. And then basically we put those skills on there. Oh, actually, let's take this away for a moment. Let's get this in the right order because that's the least important. Pit Fighter 3, yeah. No Mercy. Then Expose, Vulnerability, yeah. Then Hamstring level 1, which is all about bleeding. But our bleeding effect is applied by the sword at the moment. Then Thick Skin level 1. So we do want to refund some of those. And then we want counter offensive, so we'll take away those for a moment. And then Wrath of the Berserker down here, which got Prime and all the way down to Supreme. Then it's Tempered Fury, which is used instead of, I don't know. Tempered Fury 1. No, we've already got it. 3 of 3. Heavy-handed. Some more damage with our two-handed weapons. And then Wallop. Which is a big part of this build because we use Hammer of the Ancients a lot. And then we want Unbridled. It's basically you change this for Unbridled Rage. And that is done because that's all about fury generation, so we can generate more fury. Do more damage, but you have to generate more fury, but because we're later on in the build, in theory, we are generating more fury. And I don't really dump it enough either, as it currently is. So it's probably better for me, definitely. Brawling skills, we want here aggressive resistance level 1, which we already had. Then Prolific Fury 3. Cool. And then we got Concussion to level 3 and Defensive Start level 1. Which doesn't make sense because we're only going to get one, two, three more skill points. I've made a mistake somewhere in that build. Because I'm still supposed to have 4 more points. I know this is expensive, but yeah, 55 points. So I'm, yeah. Alright, let's start again. So, Frenzy, Enhanced, Combat. But we want Battle for attack speed. And then Hammer of the Ancients, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Enhanced. What? Pay attention to what you're doing, right? Fury. Rallying Cry. 1. Enhanced. Strategic. Then we want Leap. Enhanced and Power Leap. And then Swiftness. 1, 2, 3. And then we want Death Blow. Enhanced Death Blow. Warrior's Death Blow. Hit Fighter 1, 2, 3. No Mercy 1, 2, 3. Expose Vulnerability 1, 2, 3. Hamstring 1 for the bleed effects. Thick Skin to level 1. And then Counter Offensive 3. And then ultimate skill is, of course, Wrath. Tempered Fury. 1. Furious Impulse. Heavy-handed, so you've got to swap weapons a lot, basically. Unbridled Rage and key passives. And then Brawling Skill. Here we want Aggressive Resistance 1. Prolific Fury we want 3. While Berserking for regeneration is increased. So keep the Berserking up as much as possible, basically. And then we should have 1 more point, yeah, for the beginning of Concussion. Weapon Mastery, yeah, it's here. Oh no, sorry. There we go. We'll do weapon expertise system later. Right and up to Brawn. Is that like pictures? I'll do Paragon points later. Watch that for enough. Alright, we got a slight new build. Which Fury's more expensive, but we got to generate Fury and basically generate a lot of Fury we were using. Berserking. When we get that aspect, we'll change our expertise to axe.
Morgan's folly is lost in ruins. Going back is... This isn't like before. This isn't for the fort, for Akarat. Surely you understand it.
But why did Tyrael believe the Haradrim would be a solution?
We weren't a solution, we are... The world needs protectors.
The incense should provide us with the path to the tree. What sort of path, I can't say.
I can say that the time for questions, Neyrel, has passed.
I'm coming.
Damn. They must have tracked our scent. When you're ready, light the incense.
What now?
We wait for the path to appear.
That's a big snake.
Come on. Wake up. I think it worked.
How long were we out?
I don't know. But I see something.
Oh my, that is a big snake.
This creature. It's magnificent. I can see myself in the scales, walking on them like a path through the swamp. The serpent is the path.
Serpent? What are you talking about?
You don't see it?
No. Only a cloud of smoke.
Oh.
Oh yeah, that does a lot more damage.
Bloody hell. I see the serpent now.
What do the scales show you?
A deer caught in a trap.
Watch out! There's an opening.
It'll be ridiculous.
We must follow the path.
Is this dream snake helping us, or did it corral us here?
Over here!
Oh, hello.
Can you feel it? The swamp is watching us, whispering to us.
It's the incense, playing with our heads. Just an illusion.
He hears us, just as you do, Wanderer.
The old man is full of secrets like our thief, Elias. Birds of a feather. Perhaps that is what we need.
Where is the snake? There it is.
I lost sight of the serpent, but I hear it calling to me. Up ahead.
ready yet.
There's no way through this time. It's wounded, though. Or is it telling us to wound it?
Clever thinking. So, who will stab at it to see if it will move?
Look at that! Look at that! Ruthless, flippant.
How many ruthless Haradrim hang from our branches? Not enough.
That's so much stronger.
That's the way through. Help me clear those sentries. It's barring our path again. Keep a sharp eye out.
Is the serpent doing this?
Forget the snake. Just kill these things before they kill us.
I'll get used to that. I've got a little less damage on the death blow though.
So many come seeking answers. So many fail. Will you die like these souls, with a question still on your lips?
Shut up, shut up. You aren't real.
We are real. And so is the Lord of the Swamp.
To get the answers you seek, you must offer payment. A head for knowledge.
Not yet. They have another purpose first.
Look, it's moving.
It is indeed.
I know you heard the voices that time. Who are they?
I don't know. We can't trust anything here, but we need to press on.
A path of scales.
Come in? I'm already across.
Is that...
The Tree of Whispers.
Why have you come?
We're after a man named Elias.
Elias. Slippery, that one. Use the tree. It deals in thoughts and insight in exchange for a head. He is the first of us to escape payment.
Will you tell us what you told him? If we can stop him for good, the tree can finally collect.
He sought the way to summon Lilith, but he made another stop on the way. To a place beyond the tree's sight.
That might explain his hardiness. I've damn near lost count of how many times we've killed him.
So that's why Thaisa failed so dismally to reclaim his head.
This place Elias stopped at. How can we get there?
Seek a coffin beyond the wrecks. It will take you where you must go. Find out what secrets linger there. For the tree knows not.
If there are wrecks to search, they'll be on the eastern coast. We'll head there now. Meet us when you can.
Okay. There's a waypoint just up here. Go on foot.
I can't do that here. What? I must wait.
Could I have gone that way? I'm gonna go that way. Down to the off to the right there.
Prophecy spoke of a serpent, right? If Elias knew that too, maybe he came looking for it. Did he ever tell you what he was planning?
No. By that point, he wasn't my student anymore.
What happened?
The moment Elias heard Rathma's prophecy, it poisoned him. He became obsessed with it. Prophecies are riddles. Not even the very wise can be sure of their meaning. But Elias believed he could solve it. And when I told him to wait, he called me a fool. Said we had to do whatever.
You tried to stop him?
Tried, yes, and failed. It'll be different this time. Let's find that damn coffin.
Can you see the coffin from here? Any sign of it?
There's something at the far end of those ships.
I see it too. We'll have to cross the wreckage to reach it.
That should be fun. Gotta get used to that death blows people.
I think I can unlock the door from the other side.
All right, go.
That didn't sound good. Oh no!
What was I thinking?
It burns.
This is not good. Damn drowned.
My arm.
You've been infected. It's spreading. We have no time. I must remove the drowned necrosis.
I don't understand.
I'm gonna cut your arm off.
Are you certain? I'm certain she's dying. Hold her. We have no choice. Now hold her.
She glitched into the floor a little.
Rest now. You will be Haradrim, young one. I will not fail you. Go on ahead to the coffin. I'll look after her.
getting close. The edge of our sight, the limit of our knowledge. You see the way, don't you? Inside is the thing Elias hides, the source of his immortality.
Fear not this cradle. Colder beds than this await you yet, traveler. So many could not make this journey.
Uh-oh.
His debt must be paid.
Get on it.
Rathma, I have come to your temple. I know the answers I seek are within.
Elias's presence still taints this place.
That was the wrong move.
Every tome, every scroll, every book in this temple produces the same answer. The only being willing to stand against the eternal conflict, against the prime evils, was Lilith.
The day I'm done with this self-righteous bastard will be a great one. staircase is flooded. I need a way to cross it.
I missed something. I know I've got Paragon points, but I want to take my time to understand the skill tree. There's nothing here. Excuse me. Repeated textures. And that textures just hold on that there.
The mother of sanctuary. She made us to be strong and was sealed away to weaken us. The daughter of hatred. I cannot say that there is good in her. Morality is the privilege of people in better situations. We are beyond the question of good or evil. But the question remains. What will she do to us if I summon her? When I summon her? I must prepare myself for anything. Rathma kept the means of attaining immortality here. Once I have mastered it, I will go and bring the mother home.
There's a bit down here as well.
Elias's magic still bars the way forward.
When the Mother of Sanctuary re-enters her world, it will change. But in the end, we will remain. We will survive. Rathma writes that when Inarius discovered Lilith's plan to overthrow the so-called natural order, he sealed her away. For thousands of years, Lilith has sought to elevate us out of this cycle, has fought to secure us our birthright, Sanctuary.
The secret of Elias's immortality must be deeper within.
It is. I know where it is. I'm sure you could just jump across with your weapons drawn.
This is Elias's finger. He hid a piece of himself here to stay immortal. No, I'm not going to die here.
Still resting, but her fever is broken. I think she'll be all right. The road that comes after, though, we shall have to see. I found you drifting in a coffin, clutching a severed finger. What happened?
I'm not sure. The temple began to sink and I thought I drowned.
Temple. So the coffin was a gateway. What of Elias's immortality?
He stored his life essence in a piece of himself.
Burn it. Good. Let us end this then, once and for all. Let me end what I began. No one else is going to get hurt because of my choices.
No. No. It wasn't a dream.
Yep.
My arm, it's really gone.
You'll get through this.
You're going to leave me, aren't you? You'll find a place where I can be taken care of.
Do you want to be left behind?
No! I just don't want to be a burden.
Then we won't leave you.
It never crossed my mind. No more time to rest. You should check on Donan. We'll meet you at the Zakharun Keep later.
Nice.
You look tired, old man. Even for you. I can manage the ritual
If you could do it alone, it would have been done.
Before I start dialogue with all of those, let's just quickly go back to here. Sell off some armor and bits.
Don't hurt yourself.
We'll visit the jeweler. And then we will visit
Now, Leah, there's something out there killing us, and no one will do anything.
our wardrobe in a second.
Oh, bad luck. Fair bit of magic in that one. It seems your prayers have been answered.
Oops. I meant to get a sword, but oh, I'll take that.
Until next time.
You can't be serious, Tomaris. Mugen's folly is lost, in ruins. Going back is... This isn't like before. This isn't for the folk of Akarat. Surely you understand that.
The Steel Forge is always hot.
Gonna take a quick comfort break. Okay, and we're back.
The fever has broken, at least. Now it's just my hand. My arm. Throbbing. Lorath promises it will get better. Hard to believe at the moment.
I will, unfortunately. And Neyrelle must also. Donan might have finally got his head on straight, but the Soul Stone is our only weapon against Lilith. I will leave nothing to chance.
So much has been made of these Horadric arts. I decided to see for myself.
Speaking for myself, yes, I believe I am. Ready to attune the Soul Stone, at least. As for what comes after, capturing Lilith, keeping her bound in the stone, we know how that's gone in the past. I have to believe it is up to us now. Not to the prophecy, Inarius, or anyone else.
Something is wrong here.
Nothing right about this place. Best do this quickly. Right, Lorath. We will inscribe the 6 sigils of Dendos in order, then...
Follow with the second and fourth reversed.
Oh, it's nice to see you agree on something.
Focus. Let us begin.
There. Do you feel that?
What is it, witch?
Someone is coming. It's Elias.
He's here. We have to...
Lorath, don't you dare leave!
I'll kill him myself.
No, you won't. It's gonna be me who kills him. Just have a gut feeling about that.
The tree demands that you pay. And so do I.
I will set the tree afire and cast your corpse upon the flames. I am but the mother.
I'm just going to tank it all.
How many times must we do this before you learn? My life is not yours to claim.
Well, that's where you're
I
wrong.
have been to the deepest chambers of the sunken temple, Elias. You have no secrets from me.
No, it's not quite as good.
I am here. I lost him in the tunnels, but the swamp has him now. Rodrim, we were about to finish without you.
He's still alive? Where is he?
At the end of his bloody trail. This way.
Thaisa. I need to speak with him.
Then do so, Horadrim.
Lorath. Oh, Elias. Was all this worth it then? Truly?
I brought Lilith to Sanctuary, a thing no one thought possible. And when hell rises to sweep across this world, I should be there beside her, ready to push it back. You left me alone to cross the lines you would dare not attempt, and you have nothing to show for it. You are nothing but a wasted life. Do not look to forgive me, old man, because it is you who brought us here. Was it worth it? That is a coward's question, Lorath. It suits you.
Elias of Aronok.
Oh, spare me.
Of your own free will, you swore an oath to the Tree of Whispers.
This is not the life I deserve.
The tree does not forget oaths, and it does not forgive debts. It is time to let go.
Savage.
hear laughter on the wind. Elias's head hangs from the Tree of Whispers, and your soul stone is attuned. This is where I leave you.
Leaving? We go to face Lilith. I had hoped you would join us.
I know the weight of your reasons, but Lilith remains your concern. Mine lies elsewhere.
This is farewell, then. And thank you for the tea.
Take care of yourself, Donan.
She called me by my name. Lorath won't believe. Where is he?
I've not seen him since Elias spent his last words calling him a coward.
And to prove his courage, he what? Rode to face Lilith alone?
Elias never told us where to find her.
But his head is on the Tree of Whispers. So the tree knows where Lilith is going. Lorath could ask, but he'll have to pay the price.
What price?
The same Elias paid. Eternity on the tree.
Brother. No. Get to the tree now. Stop him!
Lilith has been 2 steps ahead of us for far too long. The tree knew where to find her. I asked. Its answer was worth the price.
Worth the price? You owe the tree your head. The day you die, you'll be taken to hang here with the others.
And what? Did I need your permission? It's done. Put it aside. While we stand here in the mud, Lilith is on her way to absorb Mephisto's power. She has found a gateway to hell, and she approaches with the key.
Where is the gate, brother?
Under Chaldean.
Surely there will be some resistance.
None. The fools welcomed her in. It is up to us to stop her and imprison her in the Soul Stone. This is all that matters.
And if Lilith has already passed through the gate?
We follow her into hell. I will do everything in my power to get us there.
The 4 of us alone? This is lunacy.
Not lunacy, child. Duty. We will meet in Tesseract to prepare. Pray we are not too late. A strange thing, knowing where you'll go when you die. One less damn mystery to worry about, at least. Did I make the right choice? I did what I had to. We needed answers and we got them. Lilith was poised to storm the very gates of hell. Astaroth and the deal, Rathma and the key, it had all been leading to this. But what we didn't know was that while we were lost in the swamp, Inarius and the Cathedral were launching a campaign to strike at Lilith. Their battle would leave the world a wasteland. And whoever won would show no mercy to what was left. Our only hope was to reach Lilith before Inarius. But we couldn't have predicted what happened next.
It's Act 5 complete. We've got Act 6 next. I'm not going to go to there, I'm going to go here. I don't want to trigger anything, basically. But I'm just going to wrap up, sell some equipment and bits like that. Probably review this Paragon skill tree. And then we're done. But that's it for this episode. All of Act 5 main storyline. Thanks very much for watching. I'll catch you again soon.